Welcome back. Map number 2, about to begin momentarily. It's into the bin with a slight lead under their belt as they take their pick of Overpass. And now we head to BLUEJAYS' pick of Inferno. The question is the score settled here? 2-0 in favour of Into the Bin? Or do we head towards Vertigo, our decider? Well, of course, these 30 rounds will decide.
Yeah, and I guess the good news here for BLUEJAYS is I don't expect that they're going to have the same terrible start coming into this map, because it really felt like they came online, they started to work together. Sure, there were a few rounds where they were a little bit too reliant on players like CSGO or XITB to get a couple of these opening kills and playing a little bit too sort of individually. I think they're going to come in with a very set focus on coming back into this series, because they could have had that map had it not been a very slow start from this squad. And they want to jumpstart that engine nice and early. Very quick round up through middle and over to the arches. This is a massive gap for Into the Bin. Yeah, they're just flying into it. Want to be taking a fight as much as they can. It's a messy couple of taps coming through, but thankfully Dobbo, Julie's coming through for one. Quick trade on towards Adam. It's a messy fight once again that's left now. I've got to say, Danny and Jikosh in a bit of a tough position. How do they even set themselves up into a comfortable post plan? Well, this is not a bad position. And Wolfie, all down to him. A quick trade coming through. I thought that was a lost affair for BLUEJAYS, but they find some success out of it. Yeah, nice sharp shooting there from Danny, not only getting the dink onto Dobbo inside the apartments, but then also being able to convert another player on short as well. Then finishing off his frag, they go for the double swing on the arches, and it is fantastically played there from BLUEJAYS. Contained inside of the bomb site, they had to fight their way out of that position because Into the Bin were trying to pin them in onto the spot, but not to be. Even in a 2-on-3, BLUEJAYS with the pistol edge. A very quick round, and clearly some signs of a little bit of homework being done from the BLUEJAYS. They spared no time getting up middle, and that was the one weakness in the Into the Bin setup.
This now makes things all the more interesting. Nice nade coming through, but actually doesn't do as much damage as you would have assumed. It lands right at the feet of AidKit, but so far, so good. BLUEJAYS reverting back over towards A. A little poke around. Panics will get a tag on towards the back of Danny. Still trying to be a nuisance as best he can. But for now, 1 minute 15 on the clock. BLUEJAYS are happy just to slowly but surely move their way forward.
Also dropped T steps even further back than that, so at some point or another, someone's going to have to go and retrieve that, and I think, well, Neno was going to go for the task. Still trying to maintain control over the brackets as well as Banana, but now Neno will go and acquire the package. No one overfacing, no one investigating here on Into the Bin. No flash to even set up Adam, who plays close smoke on B. Panics is ahead of one of the arches, though, and fancying a peek. No one looking at him whatsoever. Nade pulled on players behind, and they're going to try and hunt him down, but Panics escapes through that smoke. There can be no trade.
Well, CSGO delivering. Adam to drop. Numbers brought level once again. Time is ticking. A couple of messy fights, and this could be problematic as the PT50 will step up. Wolfie finding one on the other side of the site as robiin making it one more. He'll see off Neno as well. robiin, a pistol is all he needs. And Into the Bin find their first round from nothing. What a shocking. My God, what a horror of a round for BLUEJAYS. They just overcomplicated back and forth like a yo-yo. They just couldn't make a decision.
Yeah, just burning so much time on that clock, and by the time that they started losing numbers, and with the aggression from Panics, they didn't feel comfortable chasing into that A bomb site in case it would have been some kind of a stack, and they dodged the majority of the players there from Into the Bin, but I guess robiin proved too much.
Oh, Danny.
What?
Oh, hello. Hello. That was quick. robiin gets the lead after a masterclass towards the previous round. He's the first to fall. Thankfully, a quick trade coming through from the hands of Panics. Full blind. Trying to fall away. Molotov might buy him a little bit more time as they walk in towards Wolfie, setting up, and in comes the support. A lovely spray down from Adam. And leaves all down to AidKit. Pistol hand, a deagle to work with, and he already takes a chunk of damage and be seen off with relative ease. So only one casualty. Not the end of the world.
I wide swung and one deeg somebody, and this is how I'm rewarded. You know, Danny, some great shots on the pistols, but yeah, no, it's just not able to capitalize on anything from it. Tried to take that space over a day because they recognized it would have been weaker, but nice fast rotation there from Into the Bin to plug any gaps. Weren't expecting a second man of the Archers. And, well, Blue Jays, yeah, the pistol was nice, but they're back down in the dumps onto Glocks here in round number 4. So into the bin likely projected into a third. Unless the unforeseeable happened.
The way. Hit a bit of early damage, but let's be honest, we're not expecting anything really here, are we? I mean, it's just the very kind of limited pistols coming through from Blue Jays. The most of the T's I'd be hoping for in this sort of round, you know, a couple of kills would be lovely. A bomb plant would be amazing. Not going to make a difference. Nice nade coming through. A couple of taps forward for Adam. And this should be very easy farming in towards Banana. They'll keep facing, and at range, the rifles just continue to win these fights.
Nice little double swing. Glock will finally find one of the heads, and that AK does actually still find its hands into A-Kit. 1 HP, and he'll throw that AK out of the map, so can't be recovered. And even finding a follow-up kill on Adam. Was he on burst? Looked like 3 bullets came out of that chamber quite quickly, and Adam caught one straight to the head.
I gotta say, I think Blue Jays, they'll take a couple of silver linings there. They'll take the couple of kills under their belt. They're happy with that. I mean, realistically, we're not expecting anything from them. We're not expecting this side to have been competitive then. Now is where it matters most. An open play coming up for Panics should be very interesting. Just the full rifles on display over towards Blue Jays into the bin. It's a prime opportunity. Win this round, they re-break that economy once again, which is exactly where they want to be.
So Nito's tanking a little bit of damage to nades, and we'll investigate the apartments here on the into the bin side. Nice little 1-2 setup with the end of the apartments being covered and Wolfie covering the jump up. Danny has to be careful clearing this corner. Wolfie's head will be found. And that was actually going to put Panics in a very bad spot. Has to be careful about how he approaches or even backs away. Actually pushing forward, and Danny tucking himself out. Panics won't realize that Danny's still up close and personal. Won't hear any sound cues to indicate that he's still inside of the apartments. Could actually catch the short player off guard because of it.
Danny's got a lot of space here. Panics, he's surely going to fall with ease. Danny will smoking towards the hay bales, and Danny will just drop back. Doesn't need to overextend. Lovely opening double. Take it, and the bomb will fall. Now, this changes things. Adam's got some space to work with. The question is, does he expect Danny? And of course he doesn't. This guy continues to lurk, continues to linger, and single-handedly making himself an absolute nuisance as he'll deliver once again. Danny cannot be stopped. Oh, let's up the hands of Robin, but it's only a momentarily one. He'll be cannon fodder for the trade as Blue Jays find their second.
That's positional perfection there from Danny. Not only getting that first kill, you know, he was laser focused on the player that was first addressing him in the apartments, but then just tucking himself behind a wall where Panics thought it was all clear. He thought for sure nobody else would investigate that area, that they'd just be comfortable with the man advantage, but Danny stuck around and he found player after player with backs exposed. That's wonderfully done there from Danny. Only real fight where they started to shoot back at him was in the mid duel, and he still won that too. And the sharp hand so far has been hitting on the pistols, had those 3 in the pistol round, but then also the Deeg shot was nice and sharp. Again, it's individuals for Blue Jays that feel like they have spurred them on, and it has been Danny the focus. Not exactly an ideal buy here from into the bin onto SMGs and a 5.7. Max's AWP will still be alive and kicking, but how much sight can he actually have? Will he be able to defend his bomb site? May not be needed. Dobbo alleviating some stress over at B. CacaNito out of the equation, and they've taken some room on short, but Panics is laser focused on it.
Well, Panics needs to deliver. At least one, and he can't. Lovely entry from Jikosh. Robin Wolfie combining for one apiece, but the numbers still favour ever so slightly into the bin. And the empty out of this sort of range is deadly. As yet another kill goes their way. It's all down to A-Kit. And when he makes a good effort of it, with 1 kill to his name, it's not quite enough. And into the bin, claw back around in their favour. They couldn't scoop up the AWP, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter because things are looking much better. The buy will be a little bit weird for them in towards the next. They might have a couple of players who are 1 or 2 kind of limited in terms of utility. Overall, though, they've kept it competitive. And most importantly, they've really hindered that T-side economy. Blue Jays all the way rocketed in towards round number 7. Double AK setup, 1 Galil, double Tech 9. This is a prime opportunity for into the bin to break that back.
Especially when they're losing a player, into the bin are very fast on their feet to make a rotation quick over. I mean, you saw in that last round, they had just numbers all over the shop. As soon as Blue Jays address walls ahead of them, they suddenly have to be worried about behind. So might be something that comes back to bite into the bin if they continue these fast rotates. Spam, right on the money, and Dobbo swung wider. Didn't try to escape, decided that if you're going to spam that wood wall, I'll just catch you when you're not expecting me to peek.
Once again, Blue Jays, predicament here for them. Only one player over towards B. There's a rotation back over towards A. Thankfully, Adam can just drop it at a util. Flashing towards full. Buys time for the rotation to come back. So far, nobody's made a peek. Just yet he knows he's got the angles to work with. The bomb. It was tempted to double back. It's going to make a decision just to go towards B, it seems. 3 players here. A 4th coming over. It's going to be a standard Blue Jays here. It's just a question of, do they have enough utility to A, get an execute off, and then B, set up a post bomb if they can get the bomb going down?
Danny on a pistol has me fearful here for the hold of into the bin. On the high ground is Dobbo on 5 HP. Chicken will die at Adam's feet, but he won't get much of a sightline in. Dobbo first kills there, and Danny and Akin hit the deck. Dobbo's still alive and kicking, but only just barely. Gonna be satisfied with the numbers that they've clawed out before this hit, and this plan has come through here for the Blue Jays. A 4-on-2 for the retake.
It's going to be tough. Not going to be easy, I guess, for Blue Jays to hold on towards this one. All they have to do, use the likes of Dobbo, which is cannon fodder. He'll fall, quick trade coming through. That's exactly what they're doing. There's the first quick swing, and robiin. Perfection on the trades. And XITB be spotted in towards back pillar as well. Flash will catch him into the dark. Expected, seen off, and comfortably cleaned up, as it will be a 5th on the board for ITB. And of course, you look over towards the Blue Jays side, the real silver lining in that round is the bomb going down. So at least it means they can, you know, upgrade the pistols in towards next, but it won't warrant them a buy.
Yeah, loss bonus isn't quite so comfortable. Gonna have to be a half investment, and could certainly make this a little interesting. The money for Into the Bin is not ideal, so getting 2-3 kills in a round like this will set up for their future buy to be deadly. You know, it could be worth its weight in at least a couple of rounds right back.
You're right. You're spot on right now. I mean, the Blue Jays is a lot to be, you know, concerned about. We know that Into the Bin, and generally kind of previous iterations of kind of the Adam and Dobbo dynamic duo, they don't mind this map. This has been a kind of a staple part of their pool. Even back in Gamer Legion, we saw this map being played quite a lot. They were very good at the pluggy maps. We saw them do brilliant on towards Mirage too. And I think right now, there's a lot to like. That was a really poorly timed rotation. Obviously, Panics won't know it, but he's fallen off just as they take long control. And now he has to make a decision of how he wants to play this. Does he just play retake? Or does he expect him to double in towards the position? This could actually work in his favor as long as Adam's careful.
It looks a little haphazard, and yeah, he's considering that fact, but well, he might have slowed his roll. He's in a very exposed position. Panic's there to help reinforce and has Adam's back covered, but they just stop and freeze and wait to see what Into the Bin do.
This is not comfortable. Panics. Then spot the first, waiting for another to come through as well. And a little bit of a labor spray, but to make it work. Daddy will scoop himself up and towards an AK. It's a question of, can he see off the kill? The answer's no, because he jumps. That's a bad time to mouse wheel jump, and robiin will drop XITB. Oh, goes from bad to worse for Blue Jays. It's all left down to aid kit and a Glock.
Yeah, it's even worse timing than that, because he wanted to jump. He wanted to get onto the little bench before he took that peek, just to see if he could get a better angle, but yeah, about the most inopportune time for Panics to swing. Good stuff here from Into the Bin, and I think a little bit of a breakdown there from Blue Jays, because they had those 3 men just set up on every single attack avenue to reinvestigate the arches, and one of them peeled back. You know, I think he wanted to rendezvous with his players on short, or just kind of hovering in middle, and that was when Into the Bin actually found this timing and actually were able to break down that sort of aggressive CT setup. Interesting concept, but execution flubbed.
Best way to do it. The idea, nice. The execution poor. And of course, you know, it has left Blue Jays in a predicament, safe to say, where we look at this side and we're thinking, you know, is this going to be a similar scenario and a storyline we built up in towards, you know, the earlier map, right? Where we were saying, you know, it just got too little too late. You know, 12-3 half there, and Blue Jays, while they had made a good attempt of it, they just couldn't quite, you know, claw back that deficit in their favor. And they need to make sure that that's not the, you know, the narrative here. They need to make sure that they're at least able to put up a somewhat stable T side. Because what we've seen recently from, you know, Kato, IM Brazil quals, that this map is starting to lean quite favorably over towards that T side.
Yeah, again, I think it's just every map really weeding out the weak. You relied on the A1S too much, huh? Not anymore. You got to fight fire with fire. 5 bullets on these M4s at distance. That AK can have that narrow edge. I feel too comfortable spamming those smokes either, just because the damage isn't going to be as substantial as once upon a time. Now the archers, and they are attempting to take brackets, but that Molotov is timely. Panic can make his transition into the bomb site and link up with Wolfie and play a bait setup from here, but have to be concerned about the exposure that they have left CT spawn once again. They are really comfortable with this 3-2 setup, and you have to hope that it works out here for Into the Bin, because Blue Jays are applying a lot of attention over at A. Once again, they get this smoke down where they have access to CT spawn, and no one's there to address it.
It sort of looks to me like they're setting up to a B hit still. I mean, that's a smoke coming through towards Moto, which allows them free reign to wrap, and they're leaving CSGO over towards the side. The heavy impact fragger being left over towards B indicates to me that that's where they want to end. And the bombers making back towards B is the right call for Into the Bin. I think it's safe to say as well, a lot of research has been done by these boys. They know what they're coming against. Either way, though, in comes the fight. Question is, how will things pan out? And unfortunately, Robin wasn't holding for Dobber's back. He will fall. Adam's low on HP. This is getting mighty uncomfortable. And down, Robin will fall. It was a great execute. Just enough time on the clock to work with. Into the Bin. They had the numbers there, but they fall flat.
Yeah, cutting it fine, and you could see with how low that timer was, I don't think Into the Bin were expecting that they would go and perform this wrap, because if that bomb didn't make it to the bomb site in time, or they didn't account for the fact that Robin was set a new box, all he had to do was deny one person, you know, get that planter off of dialing those digits, and Blue Jays' round would have been burst up in flames, even with all the kills that they were able to get. But a nice slow burner, you know, they tried it in the half-buy round. They saw that there was a little bit of an exposure, a little bit of a weakness over the archers, and it's something that Into the Bin don't plug up in the follow-up buy. So Blue Jays working off of the information from the round prior to find success to get a third.
Interesting time to be as well, where for Blue Jays, if they're able to put up, you know, consistency, consecutive rounds on the board, we can start to see things get, you know, mighty dicey for Into the Bin, where we start, you know, looking at the potential of a vertigo on the cards. I think it is still definitely early doors, but right now, Blue Jays are starting to look a little bit more, you know, it is uniform. They were very kind of individualistic earlier in some of their engagements, you know, sending one person to do a lot of the dirty work and not really playing off trades or playing off contact, getting that information and using it to their favor. Now they're playing as a unit, and the cohesion is making things very scary.
Boost is nice and interesting. Adam can peer above that smoke, but fell off. Maybe not quite as in sync as they had expected, but Adam still takes an opportunity to move through that smoke, and he will get sussed out. AK came back at an odd timing to reinvestigate that, but that smoke was a little suspicious. 2-2 split between the two bomb sites now. Into the Bin trying to facilitate some information, but smoke down at the top side of B. Dobbo doesn't see a damn thing. Molotov will greet him, and Robin actually could find a lurk. Real chance at a kill right back there for the Blue Jays, but equalized now in the affair. 4-on-4, and a fresh smoke over at the B bomb site. That's where Blue Jays are heavily clustered, and that's why you see Into the Bin also making a heavy rotate.
Yeah, Robin was a little bit asleep at the wheel there, or probably more adequately, I think he was probably looking at his radar, hoping to see whether any information over towards B had actually been gained after that initial swing and flash combo. It nearly cost him his life.
Dude, this is a hell of a gamble, but they've gambled right.
In comes to Yuto. It's going to be a messy fight. 4-on-4 over towards the B site. Who's going to come out top? Wolfie, close and personal with the MP9. That could be the difference maker. He's slowly doubling away. Wolfie come back to the action. Double will fall, but thankfully Wolfie able to play them out. Full blind, tapping away, panics, will deliver for one. As Wolfie continues to be a nuisance, as have CSGO all alone. A 1 versus 2, but time is ticking. Can he even make it towards the side? I don't know if he can. Not safely for damn sure. As Robin will see him off, and an AK scooped up, an upgrade coming through. As Into the Bin extend their lead to 4 rounds at 7-3.
they must be so confused. You know, they thought they had a good read on which site to hit. Into the bin were one step ahead, where they had fully gambled all 4 players on B. And, you know, robiin got that lurking kill over at the arches. They thought he'd at least hang around as an anchor on A, but they left that site completely vulnerable. And to fall into a trap where CACANito, you know, he brings it into that one-on-one, and he's expecting robiin's going to have that rotate either from spawn or from banana in some capacity. He's already there, waiting with open arms for CACANito to pull that bomb out into the open. And you can see Blue Jays were none the wiser that they'd gone for a stack like that. That's a hell of a call from whoever decided this was how they were going to perform the CT setup, because it could have been Adam, could have been robiin making that intuitive play, because we saw a lot of lurking pressure from Blue Jays on overpass on that T side, where they were spreading out and there was just one person probing. You know, JCalls going through a smoke might have just been a telltale sign that that was the lurk that they wanted to have pay off.
No, you're spot on. Really, things I mean, that could be a brutal call, right, where the gamble doesn't pay off. Blue Jay take the A side, and then we just see into the bin go for, you know, a very early save call. Really alleviated a bit more pressure. Things were looking kind of uncomfortable. Oh my god, Wolfie and Panics, they were both playing close, but it's Panic to the MP9 at close range, dropping Danny. There's the opener going their way, and now into the min can just take a step back. They're more than happy. Essentially just to play off numbers, as Adam will park up, MP9, trade it over. And they take all the banana control. Just like that, it kind of forces Blue Jays either to retake banana or now force their way in towards the A side.
I want to try something too desperate and go straight through that smoke, so have to respect it. Adam won't hang around either, but he will be left to either the sole man responsible of this B-bomb site. Again, it looks like Into the Bin may have the right call, but if Blue Jays make any noise retaking banana, I'm likely to see the CTs reset. Oh, fancy that. Wolfie chancing a peek down middle and looking for some information. Nobody home here for the Blue Jays. A-Kit's on the other side of it, but Wolfie none the wiser. The players head this direction. That's the bomb with him. Neno actually being peeled back, and Wolfie will expose and find CACANito. I think he's fumbling and re-navigating that bomb into safer hands, but that may give the game away slightly. They're still going to try and commit to this. Adam actually going to be hot on their heels.
This is not comfy for Blue Jays. I mean, time's ticking. 15 seconds, boys. Here and now. I think they were looking like they wanted to double back, but now it has to be a save call. It's just a question of can they? Adam, close and personal. He could be enough. Opening the door, selling the rude, selling the fake. Where do they expect him to be? Well, the AWP will see the last one off. Adam low on HP with an MP, and I don't think he cares all too much. Blue Jays are crumbling, and that's the second time now we've seen already on this C side where Blue Jays have overcomplicated massively a situation. And I think when it comes down to it, it once again is the call by Adam. He takes banana control individually, a smoking towards deep banana as well, forces them over towards the A site, and they just can never get control there. It's really well played from Into the Bin, but from Blue Jays, their lack of a read on this game and their lack of their ability to garner map control when it's once lost is really costing them.
And transferring bomb carriers when, you know, you're in enemy territory or potentially in enemy sightlines is, again, a massive risk, and one of these blunders that I don't think Blue Jays will repeat, but these have stacked up throughout this series so far. Wasn't expecting that they'd still be making these sort of critical errors or these moments of indecision onto Inferno when it looked like they had found a second wind on that first map. Into the Bin are taking charge, and it is showing. Blue Jays are quaking in their boots a bit. Hope they find another revitalization somewhere in this half, because it can't simply be dominance from Into the Bin both maps over.
Oh, Dobbo. Jump peeking, giving away his information, and of course then it's light. Molotov. Try CACANito's position, and the nade only does a little bit of damage. Wolfie on the other side of the map, finding Danny before he's traded. Or Robin traded, may I say, at the hands of A-Kit. A messy fight towards A and towards B. It's a fight on two fronts, one in which is going to cost you his life. A little bit late, but Wolfie does make it there in the end, off the back of the flash as well. Staying alive above the smoke. A-Kit spotting him out, and a missed shot. Takes the tag. Once again though, Yumi, a 3 versus 3, but time is ticking.
Whatever you do, do not go CT. Adam's watching for it. He's hoping that someone overextends and Tries to make too much of a play. No smoke down, so they're just contacting in 15 seconds. Adam could just slip on by A-Kit. AWP focusing into the coffins, and they can't get this plant down safely. Now the flash in. CacaNito cannot cover, but taking deeper coverage inside of the site. Finally, the flash wears off. And Panic's a 1-on-2 where he is far and divided from the action, but they're doubled up together. Blue Jays are hoping to trade.
Time's ticking.
Read it.
3/4 of the 3/4 of the left, 1/4 of the way gone. He thinks that we're watching as if he's some genius, but unfortunately he's made the call wrong. They're both stacked in towards Church, and while he will get himself one, quick trade coming through, wigging the mouse over towards that banana position to no avail, and it will be Blue Jays up to their 4th. When you wiggle the mouse over the position and someone's there, you look like a genius. When they're not, though, not so much.
I mean, what is he hoping for? A crowd reaction?
And the crowd goes mild as into the bin.
Yeah, yell at your monitor all you want, but I don't think he hears you.
It's a 4th for Blue Jays after a questionable time taken on the retake, and it will be. And now a good opportunity as well for Blue Jays to get back in towards this half, or at least as best as they can. It's going to be a pretty rough buy, and Panic's just blown downstairs. That's an easy kill for A-Kit. All the noise in the world as he stomps his way through apartments.
Yeah, he got there so late as well. There were 2 players ready to address him, even if they weren't simply working off of spawns. But nice default here from Blue Jays that punishes some early aggression planned. Ooh. Nade is decent, though. And that could make the SMG, the CZ, all the more dangerous. And he's trying to bait out sound cues, but no one playing close short, so it falls on deaf ears. Rather not, maybe not deaf ears, but not sharp enough. Were they bats?
Now for Blue Jays, like you said, their defaulting is just giving them a lot of room to work with. You can sort of see into the bin, struggling, that in a position where I think it's safe to say for them, a little bit nervy, and they are going to gamble stack once again. And it's looking like it's going to be the right call. They've left CacaNito over towards B. But in comes T-Zan over towards mid. Oh, it's a massacre. An absolute massacre. And the bomb goes down. It's all down to CacaNito over towards B. Adam 9130 with yet another brilliant call. The gamble stack works wonders.
And they've got to start accounting for the fact that it could be a wrap through CT. Adam's looking to cover off that position, but CacaNito, does he clear it or does he not? So many angles to clear, so many angles and positions to be in. Adam in the perfect spot to address it. A gamble stack on a low buy that Blue Jays were hoping they bite down on a fake. You know, CacaNito making as much noise as possible. Molotov down on B, throwing flashes, thunderfooting, but there's nobody home. And before Blue Jays realize it, they are met face to face with angry pistols and SMGs.
Another really good call. I gotta say, we've seen Into the Bin do a lot of brilliance off the back of these gambles. Like we said, there's a lot to love. There really is. There's Into the Bin side. It's maybe something that long term might not work all too well for them, especially when you go against, slightly more, well-drilled uniform sides. They'd be able to react to these sort of gamble stacks, or at least be able to kind of, have set strategies and defaults to be able to cope with them. But right now, for a Blue Jay side, having lost, a couple of their players and a couple of the key figures, I think, them in a bit of disarray. I gotta like what I'm seeing so far, because things are really looking good for them. There is actually, just generally speaking, a lot to love over towards Into the Bin. But Blue Jays, in a similar fashion to map number 1, starting really slow, but it's their map pick which is making things uncomfortable. We could see Into the Bin find double digits at the half.
Yeah, and this Blue Jays roster definitely has some legs. I think you're right. It's just this chain of command and trying to figure out what their identity is going to be and who's going to be the problem players for other teams to have to deal with. It's a lot of restructuring to have to go through on this Blue Jays roster, whereas Into the Bin, I know that they're putting in that extra time. If there's anything Adam and Dobbo did quite well on that old Into Breach squad, is that they made sure that they were well drilled. Blue Jays need to be able to find that same level of form. Pistol's doing a lot of damage to kick off the affair over at B, but Adam deep in CT, and there ain't no smoke. A lot of damage, but that secondary rifle cannot be retrieved, and Wolfie, it's just a shooting gallery. Smoke doesn't go down quick enough. Double digits here for Into the Bin. They handle that half by quite considerably.
Yeah, credit to the 2 guys over towards B. At the very least, kind of getting one, and you're hoping that they can make it a 2-for-1, right? At least get a couple of kills and then fall. Yeah, that's fair enough. At least going 1-for-1 makes it very easy for the rotating players, and also most importantly, buys time for the rotating players. So, 10-4. I mean, again, another fantastic half for Into the Bin, or a fantastic start to a map. It's just a question of, can they see it off in the same way that they did over towards Overpass? A little bit of mess spray coming through. Panic's taking quite a considerable amount of damage, and XITB's going to close down the gap here. Try peeking in towards long. If the AWP was posted up, that could have been a problem. They're happy just to fall away, selling the noise fake. robiin won't be cleared, I don't think. Easy trade for him, but he's caught full blind. Aid kit.
He doesn't know.
Oh my god, he doesn't know. Back turn. He had no idea. robiin, Wolfie, all walking away with kills, but it's still a 2 versus 2. As Neno's left on 14 points of HP as the bomb scooped up. And I'm assuming now we head over towards A.
Oh my god, Wolfie has great timing here. CACANito's just holding his ground, and that's a free kill. Wolfie knows that he must have been buying time for something, so that bomb heading over towards the A site. It's a good read here from Wolfie. Elbow will still honor the fact that he could revert and go back towards B, but Neno's had a bit of a stinker this half so far. 2 kills so far to his tally, and not looking likely he gets a third. Wolfie on the low ground right underneath, and Neno, Shadow would have been offered up. I think Wolfie just wants to guarantee this kill. Actually, no information gained. Neno's going for a safe plant, and that leaves him open and exposed. It is a nice half here from Into the Bin. We'll have to see whether they can finish how they started in the second.
You love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 11-4 at the half. Not too shabby at all for Into the Bin. Of course, it's a 12-3 over towards their mapping of Overpass, and they saw that one off relatively comfortably. 16-11. It's a case in point now of can they do it back-to-back?
Yeah, or do they allow Blue Jays back in the door just as they shut it closed in front of them? 11-4 half is quite substantial, and right now the strat is looking pretty solid here from Into the Bin. Only 2 players defending this A site, but great kill from BJAYSCac and falling back into the bomb site. They have to be quick on this wrap, but Neno getting cut down on the rotate and look in the wrong direction is Aid Kit. They have no say getting all those kills on players looking the wrong way. Into the Bin, a 4-on-2 for this post plan, and CSGO gets nothing.
Well, Danny, safe to say, this one's going to be pretty difficult. I think we can throw that one out there. 1 versus 4. Half armor, no kit, no utility, post plant set up. Hope in hell that anything works in his favor. He was getting flanked anyway as well. So, Wolfie will see it off with 4 remaining alive. Into the Bin finds 12. And Yumi, success continues over towards the UK scene. As this is looking like it's on the road to a 2-0 right now. These guys look unstoppable.
Yeah, man. I mean, you got to put respect as well. 1 German, 1 Swede in there as well. I guess, to be fair, Robiin has been with the UK scene for quite some time, you know, with that endpoint roster for ages, got them to new heights.
Honorary at this point.
Yeah, exactly. We adopt him. That's fine.
Exactly. He has a home here.
Maybe Panics can find a home too.
Exactly. They ever want to come to mighty Birmingham? No,
Feel
they
free.
can be treated. Exactly. For now, Blue Jays, unfortunately, the buys are fantastic. They're flooding over towards B. I don't get 1 quick trade. I'm trying to make this a little bit expensive, and unfortunately, I don't really think, I don't think Neno can do too much. He's in a really bad map. I mean, I think it's kind of a bit of a summary of Blue Jays as a whole, but, you know, so far 2-14, not exactly a nice position for him to be in. His confidence at a bit of an all-time low. You're only seeing a few individuals really be consistently kind of competent right now over towards Blue Jays, being out of, you know, Danny at times and CacaNito. All in all, Into the Bin, this just looks like a very easy pug for them. They're just taking fights. They're not even, you know, delving too deep into the strat book as well. They're just playing off the back of aim tools, and it's working.
Yeah, and this goes back to our conversation about, you know, adding new players and finding an identity and making sure that their players are up to scratch. You know, they're hunting around the North Macedonian scene to bring in these players and get them up to speed. But, you know, you go with new players. Sometimes they'll swim, sometimes they'll sink, and that has to be something that you bear in mind and have and sort of account for in variance. Yeah. Like you said, Danny's done his job. CacaNito has done his job to try and compensate, but even some of the calling from Blue Jays in those mid rounds on T side, they were just falling into the bin traps very frequently and getting caught on bad timings. So I think it is fair to say that Into the Bin have almost just outclassed them on a calling perspective outside of just fragging.
That's it. Nice take coming through though. Panics and Dobbo taking quite the considerable chunk. This buy over towards Blue Jays, not pretty. Force bought in towards the previous, so it just does mean we've really got to work with here. Molotov actually will force engagement with the elevator player. 1 for 1. Molotov actually delivering off one of its own. It's still a bit of a stack over towards the A side, so 2 more players to clear, but those nades are going to make this all the more easier. And now with short control being taken, I've got to say, I think for Blue Jays, they had a good control, had a good position, and it's falling flat. The MAC-10 getting cashed like that, they're setting themselves up for a very clean, very, very, very quiet series as well, where Blue Jays never really got a, you know, a proper shoe in.
Yeah, this is just like a nice step-by-step execute into the A-bomb site. You know, as soon as they take a little bit of space, they get a couple more kills, they add more utility, and they just keep on slowly chugging forward into the A-bomb site, and no one can do anything to stop it. As I needed the last man that was in proximity, and he gets nothing for his efforts either. So Robin's just farming up extra cash on that MAC-10. Hell, he might even get a 4th, because Neno's around the other corner, and the game he's had, okay. Actually overpowering Robin, so preventing an extra 600, but come on now. Thought his arms would have been long enough to reach that, but he grabs his hands on a smoke as well. Thing is, there is no escape. He's trapped. I just don't think Into the Bin are that interested. They don't care if he gets away with this. Whatever. No. There's a buy around the corner anyway.
Exactly that. Yeah, have the MAC-10. We don't really care at all. I'd actually be surprised if Neno keeps hold of it. I wouldn't even mind if he upgrades, and he will. It's the good call. I mean, what's the point of a MAC-10 against what is, of course, going to be a full buy, full armor over towards the other side? It will take, you know, quite the padding to see them off. So, 10-round lead into the bin hold. Safe to say, heavy favourites to see off the map in the series right now. And this could potentially be the last and, well, probably only full buy we see from Blue Jays in towards the second half. If they don't find success and jumping across panics, what a shot.
Yeah, 8kit may well have just held on to that Mag 10. Nano dropped it, and 8kit somehow found it in his hands at the start of that. Okay, I mean, they're not even getting a chance in these fights. No one has fired a bullet out of the Blue Jays chambers, and while Danny will make an attempt at it, there's just no success. Nano's all that's left, but this time I don't even blame him if he doesn't get a single kill here. He's being hunted like a dog and completely boxed in. No hope, no chance. Blue Jays staring down the barrel of a 15-4 scoreline, 11 straight. I mean, I just don't see it happening. Into the bin have been too clean.
Surely got to be done. What's the buy saying as well over towards Blue Jays? We've got double FAMAS, double MP9, and M4A1S. The nice thing that it just does alleviate a little bit of that pressure is the fact they got util to work with, and quite a lot of it. But just generally speaking, this Blue Jays side, they already look defeated. They just don't look comfortable here at all. This time, 8kit won't make the mistake of jumping across mid. He's learned his lesson. There's been a lot of mid-control gain, though, for Into the Bin off the back of it. With no real contest there, they're happy to park up. Wolfie will fall to the double nade stack, though. So there's an opening kill. This low buy. Job's not done just yet. Into the Bin. Needs to be careful. And robiin should have probably got a freebie. Jeez. For some reason, quick switches in the open. But thankfully, Panics will step up for one. Numbers still favour Blue Jays here as Panics continues to try and check down a little bit of space. But jump peeking. Quick trades coming through in a 1 versus 1. Leaves CSGO versus Dobbo. The bomb down, but Dobbo is nowhere to be seen.
If he had a teammate, this would be an ideal spot. But one-on-one, Dobbo could go anywhere. He could go through the arches, he could wrap through CT, and that has to be something that CSGaCaNito accounts for. It could be a timing that Dobbo could exploit. But he'll bounce between the angles. He knows that he has that bomb at his feet. Could try and play off the bomb. He knows Dobbo's likely to play it slow. But how are you going to make that gamble when you are... Well, you need every single round. So Nito, at the right time, and Dobbo caught a glimpse of him, so exposes where his position is. And that flash in from CSGaCaNito, he should be fearful. He knows Dobbo's tag, and he should be able to finish it off, and will do exactly that. A great and important double kill there from CSGaCaNito to keep Blue Jays in this one. Again, it just feels as though this is a mountain too steep. They lack the critical gear to hold on.
They're still live. Not there just yet. There's a lot that we have to see coming out of Blue Jays before we even remotely start opening conversations about them getting back in towards this. But for now, we'll take what we can get. I think for Blue Jays, they have just not been competitive for such a long time. Any sort of success kind of fills us with a little bit of hope because we're thinking, okay, well, finally, we know this side can win rounds. Mistake coming through there. Oh, robiin will punish it. CSGaCaNito tries to drop an A coming out of the apartments. And in doing so, gives away his position. And robiin plucks him off from bridge. There's the opening kill. And now we're seeing Into the Bin not make any mistakes.
And that was just a lovely tap there from robiin. He was spamming apps. And, you know, quick reaction to make up for a mistake. You know, could have been caught off. Mechanics are certainly there. And to appreciate him on the endpoint side for exactly that, but when we started to see him against bigger fish, suddenly felt like he was a small fish in a big pond. Right there from 8kit as well to counteract any moves over towards A, and they're going to try and make a bit of a gamble themselves. 3 over at B, and that's where the majority of Into the Bin are headed.
Dobbo, got a gap to work with. Spam coming through as well. We'll go to Wolfie. Dobbo makes it one more as well. Numbers are dwindling, and so is the time. And CSGaCaNito needs to go for 2 there, and he can't quite confirm the second. It leaves it all down to 1 man. As 8kit needs a miracle to stay alive here, and he can't even deny the bomb. Just like that, it's Into the Bin, a 2-0 over Blue Jays. They came in as the underdogs, but they've come out on top in what was a triumphant victory. And that map number 2, Yumi, I mean, that is as one-sided as it gets.
Yeah, I think we tried to preface it as much as possible. A time of, I guess, new growth or having to find new form on the Blue Jays side, and I guess new opportunities for the Into the Bin side as well. But they work with an underlying in-game leader that